Alright guys, how's it going? Awesome Soul here, and welcome back to Robocraft. This time around, I will be going over the patch notes for the Enter the Shred Zone update, and stay tuned for the end of the video for a special announcement. The mech that you see on screen is the one that I actually described last episode, I believe, in Robocraft, and that was one of my brand new mechs. This is the Bluebell. The least intimidating name, I know, but it was kind of unique and endearing, I guess, and it just sort of popped into my mind. I didn't know what else to call it. It was blue. I don't know. Anyways, first things first, we will go into the weapon. That is the Chain Shredder. Now, it's very large, not only in size, but also in CPU load. This, I don't think we have anything higher CPU-wise in this. This weapon is 325 CPU, with a mass of 2,950. So it has the same mass per CPU of the Ion Distorter. Although the Ion Distorter is a lot less CPU than this thing. This thing is an absolute behemoth. So if you want two of them, you can't really get the EMP module on there, but of course I'll get to that in a little bit. So as predicted from the audio file we were given, I said that it was going to be about 4 seconds to spin up to full attack speed, I guess you could call it. It is actually 4.5 seconds. And interestingly enough, it has a spin down timer. Now when they first uploaded this little article here, it said 1.5 seconds to decelerate back down to not firing. But now it's changed to 0.5. So I don't know what's up with that, but I assume the final product will actually be 0.5 to decelerate back down. Now, when it comes to power usage on this thing, it is actually using full power as soon as you hold down the trigger, even though it actually takes 4.5 seconds to spin up and 0.5 seconds to spin down. So even in that 0.5 spin down time, you will still actually be using power, interestingly enough. Now, the spread for this thing is fairly decent. It is a 4-degree spread on this thing. And just to give you an idea, the Ion Distorter has a 6-degree spread. So it's actually fairly large. And as far as damage goes, this thing is an absolute monstrosity. 11,000 damage per bullet. And with 2 for the max fire rate, you get 20 projectiles per second. And even with just 1, it's 16 projectiles per second. This thing is probably going to be pretty insane. Will it need a nerf in the future? I certainly hope not, because this thing sounds like it's going to be a ton of fun, and I have my mech ready to go. Although I don't think I'll be able to fit the EMP on there, unfortunately. Again, I'll get into that in a second. Now, also, which is kind of interesting, regardless of whether or not you have one chain shredder or 2, it's going to be using the same power usage, which we haven't really seen before. I mean, it's only a 4 projectile per second difference, but then again, that actually does make quite a lot of difference DPS-wise. So, really, if you want maximum efficiency, you need 2. But again, that 650 CPU loads, that's pretty much the majority of your bot. Well, it's a lot of your bot, at the very least. So what else do we have here? Ah, yes. So, basically, the floppy capacitor system introduced in the last one. Basically, for those of you, last update rather, for those of you who don't know what that is, it is lower CPU bots get less power, whereas maximum CPU bots get increased power, as opposed to sort of the middle of the line CPU. So they're kind of saying that if you really want to use this weapon, you pretty much need to be above, like, level 100. But then again, you're probably not going to be picking this thing up for quite a while, especially if you're a new player, because price generally is tied to CPU, and this being the highest CPU on any item we've had, well, That's pretty damn crazy. Anyways, going on to the legendary module, the EMP. So, what it kind of sounded like it was going to be was like a big burst weapon, like a big bubble around you, but no, it actually calls it down from the, what is it? The mothership. There we go. So it basically summons a giant thunderstorm to drop on your enemies, which sounds absolutely amazing, and I already have a brand new mech name designed for that. I love me some mechs, I know. It's a bit addictive to make some mechs. Hopefully you guys aren't tired of it, but anyways. I try to make them look fancy. Anyways, back on topic. So it can't be blocked by the disc shield module, so if you make a sort of umbrella and aim it up where the mothership is going to drop down the storm, it won't do anything. And that's kind of interesting, actually. Now, it takes 3 seconds for the countdown to begin, and the effect actually lasts for 3 seconds. A little low, but we'll see. And enemies that are stunned basically have their movement gone, their power will no longer regenerate, aerofoils will spin out, and it has a cooldown of 30 seconds. And the blast radius is 100 cubes, which is pretty big. And the CPU load, I was 5 off from my estimate. It is 315. And of course, there are some new arrow rods too. The diagonal rod and the 3D diagonal rod. We'll have to kind of wait and see what that means exactly. And we're also getting the tutorial as well, but I've kind of covered that before, as well as the AI bots thing. So, basically, if you want to read what else is there, go ahead, because I just kind of wanted to cover the big main things. Now, the super amazing announcement that I said I would leave for the end of the video. I am doing a live stream on the day of the update. So I'm guessing sometime around 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Hopefully you guys will show up and we will have plenty of fun. We'll probably do some queue syncing, try and get as many people as I can into the same match. So, let me know how excited you are for the Chain Shredder or the EMP. Which one are you more excited for? I'd probably say... oh man, I don't know actually. Chain Shredder, by a slim margin. Anyways guys, I've been the Awesome Soul, I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.